definitely just stalled out. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Garage. As always, I'm Lawrence. A couple quick updates I want to go over before we get to wrenching today. It's been a couple days since my last video. I didn't really get a chance to do much recording, but I have been making progress. It's just been kind of a show yesterday and today. So I guess let me start with what I've been doing the last couple days, and then we'll get to today. So we've well, I had a little bit of help the last couple days. Buddy Marky and my brother Phil both came over. So what has happened since last time? I think last time I finished up tidying the wires up over there. Finished tidying up the wires here. I ran my secondary wire for a manual bypass switch if needed. I have it rolled up over there. I still have to hook the switch up, but got all that cleaned up. Double check the timing, locked on the distributor, reset my fuel pressure. What else under here? Basically just cleaned up my grounds over here. Got the headlight bezels on. They still got to get taken off and painted at some point, but that's not the goal today. So anyways, that's about it for under the hood. So also I finished up dealing with the brake system. Well, I don't want to say finish up. I did some work on the brake system. Ended up finding some pads local, and I ended up replacing both the calipers as well as flushing the entire system out front to back. So now I have some clean-ish fluid. A little bit of dust in the bottom of the reservoir, but compared to the Verners that was in there, I'll take it. Huge improvement. This is easier with two hands. All right, so yeah, replace the calipers. I don't know if you can see in there. Not really. They're just stock replacements. No big deal, nothing special. So after that was all done, had it up on the stands, on all four stands, ran it for a while, make sure the temperature gauge worked. I put most of the cluster back in. I didn't put the tack back in. I gotta finish fixing that still, but just gonna run without it for a couple days. After I got that all buttoned up, we got the fan secured, the brakes done, getting all my ducks in a row, let it warm up, make sure nothing was gonna happen, yada yada yada, all that stuff. Shut it off. This leads to yesterday. Shut it off, get it off the jack stands, get back in it, get ready to start it, and guess what? Starter won't turn the motor over. So I'm pretty sure the starter's bad. It's old. I don't know if it's old. It's been on the car since I've had it. And the weirdest thing happened when I had the back brakes up, or back tires up. When I put it in gear, I put it in reverse, let go of the brakes, wheel spin backwards, put it in drive, let go of the brakes, brake spin forward, put it in neutral, and the tire still wanted to turn. So I don't know yet. I'm gonna be digging in today. I don't know if I did have to add some trans fluid, and I added some Lucas to the transmission just in case. It's a 700 R4. Worked before this thing got parked whatever years ago, but I don't know that it's seen past second gear in the last 6 years. So I don't know, we'll figure that out. But also when I went into park, didn't want to go into park right, so I thought the shifter column was loose, snugged it down, and yeah, I don't know, I think the transmission shifter is fine. I'm gonna check the linkage and stuff out while I'm down there, just because. But for right now, so nobody's got a decent starter for this thing local for under 300 bucks. So I was looking online to see what I can get shipped next day. And wouldn't you know, thunderstorm rolls through. Starts flooding half the garage. I got to get my pads lifted up apparently. I don't know, get one of those foam, get some of that foam raising, because the front half of my garage started sinking this past year. But anyways, now I'm just rambling. Where was I going with that? Oh, so yeah, I came out here. Now I think it's too late in the day to get next day delivery, so I got to figure something out. But I want to get this starter off. Actually, first thing I want to do is let's see what happens when I turn this key this time. All right, let's turn it and see what happens. Well, I'll be damned. Well, I'm a slightly bit embarrassed. This is why we test things. So I checked the battery voltage yesterday. I was reading 12.6. So I made the horrible assumption that the battery was good. It was charged. So I put a charger on it, and I have not come out here to test it today. It started downpouring, which, crazy enough, it's as sunny as it can get outside now. Kids are swimming in the pool, so, you know, Michigan weather. Anyways, so I just took it off the charger, tried to start it up, and once you know it started. Alternators not charging. 12.33 volts, I'm sorry, 12.51 volts while running. That's not gonna cut it. So I'm gonna go see if I can find an alternator now instead of a starter. So I'm gonna go make some calls and we'll get back. Well, today's one of those days that I deserve to be bashed on the internet. I drove around to a couple stores looking for an alternator. Finally find a decent price 2-wire. They didn't have any 1-wires under like 230 bucks. And I wasn't doing that today. I wasn't ready for that. So picked up a 2-wire, come back, go to start disassembling to take 2-wire off. I'm sorry, to take the alternator off. And come to find out, without me observing that much, there's a cap in there. Guess what the cap was? It's a 2-wire alternator. So, internet can bash me. Thankfully, there's only a few of you actually watching this video. And, yeah, because of that, I know I won't get bashed too hard. But I'll show you what I did. Alright, so with a 2-wire alternator, you have to do a couple things. Number one, you have your 2-prong plug here. And what you have to do with that is you have 2 things here. You have your exciter wire, basically, is what we're going to call it. That tells the alternator to basically charge. It activates the regulator, tells it to charge. So I jump that off of the incoming power. That means every time I start it up, it's going to always charge. Second thing you have to do is ground the alternator. I have a ground here. I may add a second one. It is working, it is charging right now, but I may add a second ground just to be safe. But that's it. So this other prong here, that would be for a volt gauge. If I were to put a volt gauge in the car, I'm not going to do that because my cluster already has a voltmeter. So I'm going to use that for now. I may add one later, but right now I'm not too worried about it. So she starts, she charges. Yeah, she's pretty much good to go in that aspect. So on that note, it's been a long day. Full disclosure, I have one last day of work before the cruise. That's tomorrow. So the goal tomorrow, exhaust and go through the brakes again. The pedal's still a little low. I need to check the back again. I bled them all out, so either there's still air in the system or the back brakes are just that far out of adjustment. It's honestly 50-50. So Tomorrow, exhaust and go over the brakes one more time. Other than that, I mean, is the car complete? No. But can I run it the way it is? And will I run it the way it is to at least go to this cruise, at least make an appearance? Even though I'm just gonna park and watch the cruise? Yeah, I think so. I think I'll be all right with it. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up, get in the house, and yeah, I guess I will be back tomorrow at this again. So, all right, we'll see you. All right, so it's a new day. Full disclosure, less than 24 hours to go. It is after 5 o'clock on Friday, and technically the pre-show for the cruise is starting tonight. Doesn't look like we're gonna make that. Goal is to get there and make it in the morning. So quick update of where we're at here. Let's go over what I have. I'm gonna need more parts, but let's go over what I got. So definitely don't have enough parts to do this. Power steering hose, if I get to it, doubt I will. This is the rear brake hose. The fitting was too rotted. There was no way I was getting it apart, but I did test the rear hose. It is working. It is not collapsing. So I think I'm all right there, hopefully. I got a flex pipe and a couple clamps. I will need some adapters, some fittings. My goal is to get the passenger side of the Y pipe cut and fit up to match up with the new headers. I have the original Y pipe, and then I will, as a temporary, use this to get whatever I need from the driver's side over. Don't know how well it's gonna work, but it's the only quick, cheap, easy option I got. We're gonna give it hell trying. Goal is to at least get the Y pipe on tonight. If I can just get the Y pipe on, I'll be happy with it enough to drive. I'd rather do Y pipe than just open headers and a spare alternator. Let's not get into that again though. So Y pipe's under the car already. I'm gonna go under there and mark it up, and then yeah, then we'll see what we do from there. Please excuse the fan noise. It's absolutely hot in here, but more than that, left drain pan of oil and a bag of bottles out, so there were some flies. Had to air this place out, but we'll be back after I get that marked up. All right, so I got it out. I got a couple general marks of what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna cut it up, so that I can modify and fit it. I'm gonna start by cutting this whole side off. This is the driver's side, because that's gonna take more work. So I'm gonna cut that off to get it away, so that way when I come over here, I'm gonna cut about right here, and when I take that off, that should get me close enough, and then I can line this up and get this side set without worrying about all this extra over here hitting. So hopefully it goes smooth. Using zip ties to help guide me. It's kind of dirty, so it's gonna be hard to see my marker marks once I start cutting. So that's what I'm doing. Cut these up and then start fitting. Unfortunately, I left my earmuffs at work. I gotta buy a second set for home. So, all right, let's get after it. All right, so first piece is cut off. A good old nice stock double well. So first piece is cut off. I'm not gonna do anything with this right now. Set this off to the side while I straighten this out. So next step, Nick that up a little bit. Next step is to take this side down. So start right about there. I always cut a little more off if need be. I have a feeling what's going to happen is after I cut it down, I'm probably going to have to weld an adapter on a slight angle to compensate for the new header location. But I guess we'll be figuring that out shortly. Alright, all three of you watching this. It's day of a cruise. Real late night last night. Didn't get in bed till about 3 a.m. So, wrapping up the last final couple of things. Got the exhaust Y pipe welded up last night. Did all the test fitting. Haven't put it back on since it's been fully welded. Hopefully it works. That was a nightmare. My MIG welder here, I went to go change the liner, lost the spring in the trigger, so couldn't put that back together. So, alright, no big deal. Take it up to work. I live close to work. Ran up to work. All the tips were gone for that. Tip was completely shot. So, it didn't end up pretty. Wire was skipping the whole time, but you know what? It's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just exhaust. What's it gonna do? Make a little noise? I'm not getting the muffler on anyway, so it ain't gonna matter. But alright, I'm gonna hammer the rest of this out, get that on, patch the transcooler line that's leaking, and probably be on the way. So I'm gonna get back at it. I don't know where I'm gonna be for video after this. Alright, we're a little behind schedule by about 6 hours, but we're here. Me and Matthew are about to take her on her maiden voyage. So we went down to the good old O'Reilly's Auto Parts store this morning, picked up some of the last minute things we needed, and here we go. Hopefully we don't die. All right, we'll let you know how it goes. YouTube, so try this again. Camera's on the fritz. I don't know what's going on here, but I get to end this video with some good news and some bad news. Good news is we made the cruise. We got out there, we had some fun, we toyed around. Car held up fairly well for the most part. I'll get into that here in a second. I don't know where I left off with the other video, but let's see. Got out for its first test drive that day. Brought it back to the house, check everything, go over everything once over. Fuel pump went out. So instead of tearing the gas tank apart and doing all that stuff, I ran out real quick, picked up a micro inline fuel pump, hooked it up, wired it up real quick, ran it that way, got on the road. Quickest, easiest way to do it. So that got me back on the road. Well, wanted to do some recording, but some camera battery issues at the time, so didn't really get much for that. It was me, my son, and my friend Santiago. So got out there, saw some cars, was doing some driving, brake lights were out, stopped, got some food, did some trouble shooting in the parking lot, figured that all out, fuse problem, no big deal. So what I found was, dummy me, the bracket on the TV cable for the transmission, the throttle vacuum cable, was loose. And yeah, I'm a dummy. This is when things went downhill. Leaving the restaurant, we got out onto Van Born over here and got taunted. Finally, I just lit them up. Handled the burnout great. Smoked it up. I mean, I know somebody behind me couldn't see because I could barely see. Well, just to let everybody know, do not do a burnout with a 700R4 with a bad throttle vacuum cable position. Cable was loose, cable not in the right spot. About 99% sure I blew out my 3/4 clutches. So I only got first and second gear now. Goes into drive hard. I'm going to diagnose it a little more, but I'm pretty sure I burnt out some clutches. I'm hoping that's all it is the clutches. I'm hoping I didn't ruin anything else. But I have a feeling this week's going to be tearing out the transmission and tearing into that and seeing what we can find. Now, I'm not a transmission guy, but I think I know enough to figure this out. Yeah, so I got a couple other things going on. Wrap this video up right now. Got this damn Kia back in here. I really hate these things. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix this or not, to be honest. Transmission, again, is not my thing. Solenoid B's acting up, throwing a code. So I got it draining down there, and I'm gonna take the cover off. I'm gonna pull the solenoids out and test them. If they test good, I'm gonna put it back together. If they don't test good, we'll replace whatever's bad. I'll probably do a little quick video when I'm in there, even though this isn't the usual for this channel. But the only other thing I can think of is the module. I'm having a brain fart. It's been a long weekend. The control module on that. But anyways, I'm not going to keep rambling on. Transmission got out. I'm sorry, Camaro got out. We did that right. So I'm pretty happy about that. Little disappointed about the transmission, but you know what? If you didn't break something, you weren't having fun. So we got out, we did the hot rod thing, and now I'm gonna pay for it. So it is what it is. But yeah, that'll wrap this video up. Whoever watched, thanks for watching. If you like, you want to see more, subscribe, and yeah, I'm gonna get back to wrenching, so have fun hot rodding.